CBSE Board, Class 11, History, Chapter 1, Part 3, Audio by Renee Matthew. It is a long story before the human evolved into the present status. The story of human revolution begins here. Predecessors of modern human beings had a lot to tell us through the archaeologists, through the fossils, through the stones, and the tools that were discovered from the underground. There is a lot that you can learn from the structure of the skulls, which is shown in the upcoming slides. And that change, those evolution took place as a result of the human revolution. It is a long story, it is enormously long and somewhat complex, complicating the procedures, and that is why many scholars were not able to understand the sequence of the evolution. And there are a lot of unanswered questions because of the data which is revised constantly, and there's a lot of modification that is going on when the data is revised. So there are contradictory points which clash with one another. MYA is a unit for million years ago, a science-related unit of time used in astronomy, geology and biology, because it is not very easy to understand exactly how many years before some things took place. So the unit that is developed by science is MYA, for unpredictable span of years. For example, there is an example which is given here. In August 1856, workmen who were quarrying for limestone in Neander Valley, this happened long back in 1856, in the German city of Dusseldorf, found a skull and some skeletal fragments. So when human beings are engaged in these kind of activities like digging, quarrying, they come across, it is accidental discovery. They came across skull and skeletal fragments. And it was handed over to Karl Forot, a local schoolmaster and a natural historian. And he realized that it did not belong to a modern human being because of the structure. And he was an historian. It was easy for him to identify the structure of the skull because he's well versed in that particular topic. And he understood that the skull did not belong to the modern human. And this was rejected by many of the scholars when he told that it did not belong to the modern human. And they declared that the skull belonged to a person of more recent times. So that was a controversy. And then on November 1859, 24th of November 1859, Charles Darwin's theory on the origin of species was published. And that marked a landmark to the study of the evolution of human beings, because they could connect easily with the skull that was found out in German city of Dusseldorf and with this particular theory. And all 1,250 copies of the first print were sold out the same day because it was easily relatable to the discoveries. And Darwin argued that humans had evolved from animals a long time ago, and this is perhaps one of the recent development of the human skull. It is not that it happened overnight. It is a discovery or evolution which took place millions of years ago. Primates. What do you mean by the meaning of the word primates? It's a category of mammals which emerged in Asia and Africa. I told you in one of the slides that the first human life or human form was found in the continent of Africa. So primates is a category of mammals very similar to the monkeys and the apes that you see now, which emerged in Asia and Africa. And that happened maybe 24 millions of years ago. And this particular group was known as hominoids. This particular group of primates were known as hominoids. So all these categories that you can see here in this picture is together known as primates, the early forms of human life or mammals. So first form, I told you that evolution took place. The first form is hominoids, which took place 24 millions of years ago. And this of course included apes. And much later, maybe 5.6 millions of years ago, we find the evidence of the first hominids. So that is the common name which is given to this particular species of human being, and then the evolution is taking place. You can see that over time. Now, while the hominids have evolved from the hominoids and share certain common features, there are differences as well. Suppose this is hominoid and this is hominid. There are some features that has been shared between them. Suppose you compare this species with this one, there are no much similarities. There are a lot of differences. But here, between the first and the second, you can find a lot of similarities. For example, hominoids, that is the latest discovery, had smaller brain than hominids. And they are quadrupeds, that is they used to walk on four limbs like the animals, walking on all fours, but they had flexible four limbs. But hominids, by contrast, have an upright posture. Okay, they walk straighter or slightly straighter than the hominoids, and bipedal locomotion, which means movement is on two limbs. You can see it in this picture. Here it is 4 and here it is 2. And here it is stooping down, and here it is like upright posture, walking on 2 feet. And these terms are very important. Like for example, flexible forelimbs, upright posture, bipedal locomotion, all these terms are very important. And it also marked differences in the hand, which enables the making and using of tools. So as the evolution took place, it was easy for the man to hold tools, to have grip on the tools, because here it is resembling the animal and it is very difficult to hold a tool with so much of grip. But here, as the evolution took place, you can notice a change in the hand also, where it was easier to have a strong grip on the tool. And that is how discovery also took place. Now we're going to examine the kind of tools made and their significance more closely later. So now it is 2 terms that you have learned here, hominoids, and then from there came the hominids, and they're together known as the primates of human beings. Now 2 lines of evidence suggest an African origin for hominids. What are hominids? The first form. Okay, so African origin is seen for the hominids. First, it is group of African apes that are most closely related to hominids. So because there is a close resemblance, the scholars are telling that it is African ape. Second, the earliest hominid fossil, which belonged to the genus Australopithecus, that is the name of this particular species, that is with upright posture, then which walked on 2 limbs and all that, it was found in East Africa, and it dates back to 5.6 millions of years ago. And because it was found, so because of these 2 factors, one is because it is related to the hominids, that is African apes were closely resembling to hominids. The second point is because this particular group or genus, it is known as Australopithecus, it was found in East Africa. These are the 2 reasons why they say that the evolution or the first human form was found in Africa. So this is a very important point which can come for your short answer. In contrast, fossils found outside of Africa are no older than 1.8 million years. So even outside Africa, it was found, the fossils were found, which was not as old as the ones which were found in Africa. The others were slightly found recently and was not as old as the one which is found in Africa. So look at this evolution of hand. This particular point is very important. In the previous slide, we saw that there's a slight change in the hand, the evolution of the hand, and I told you about the grip that the hand had. Now, there are 2 types of grips. One is precision grip and the other one is power grip. Precision means you're concentrating the grip on the fingers. Look at how this hand is holding the pen or the straw that is seen here, the small slide and all that. So it is focused on the fingers. But here it is power grip, where the grip is focused on the palm, this particular part. The whole hand, you're making use of the whole fist to hold this particular tool. But here, the focus or the energy is in these fingers. That is the difference between precision grip and the power grip. So look at the evolution. First it was like this, and then it came to these two phases. Did you understand? So two forms of grip, which is the precision grip and the power grip. So here it is more area and here it is precise. Here it is accuracy and here it is less of accuracy. Okay? And the energy used is also varying. Hominids. So look at the specific features of the hominids. The first point is, the hominids belong to a family known as Hominidae, which includes all forms of human beings. So it's a collective name which is given to the, general form of human beings, which is Hominidae. Now, the distinctive characteristics of this hominid is, they have got larger brain size than hominoids. That was the first form. Do you remember that particular slide? Hominoid. So hominids have got larger brain size, upright posture, something like this, bipedal locomotion, and specialization of the hand. So maybe precision grip was more active here, and here it is power grip. It was not very easy for this particular ape or this form to hold tools. So much tools were not made during this time. So you can imagine that. Then, hominids are further subdivided into branches known as genus. So genus is the branch. Genus is a part of hominid, of which Australopithecus and Homo are important. So these two particular species under hominids are more important. Okay? These two come under hominids. So first you have Hominidae. So when you make a kind of graph or some kind of diagrammatic representation for studying in better, from here you can draw hominid. And from there again to branches to Australopithecus and Homo. Each of these in turn, so from these in turn, there are several species. From here also you can draw branches, from here also you can draw branches. Did you understand? The major difference between Australopithecus and Homo, what is the difference between these two? Is the brain, size, jaws and teeth. So they have given just generalized statement here where the major difference is all these. And the former, that is Australopithecus, has got a smaller brain size. You shouldn't confuse yourself, okay? Australopithecus brain size is larger than hominoids, but it has got smaller brain size than Homo, and heavier jaws, larger teeth than the later one is Homo. So that is the exact difference. Now look at this particular diagram given in your textbook. It is a representation of what is given in your textbook. They are showing the evolution of the skull over here with a lot of technical terms. It's not necessary for you to study all these terms. It is not given in your syllabus. But for you to understand, look at the evolution which takes place. It is one particular branch, how it has evolved, and then you have Homo sapiens. Yes, then the African apes, you have the three branches. So just to understand how you can branch and make your own branch study. That is why I have given this diagram here. Now virtually all the names given by scientists to species are derived from Latin and Greek words. Australopithecus, Homo, everything comes from Latin and Greek words. For instance, for example, the name Australopithecus comes from a Latin word austral, and austral means southern, and the Greek word pithekos meaning ape, southern ape. Did you understand? And why is it named like that? Because the earliest forms of humans still retained many features of an ape. It looked very similar to ape. That is why it is southern ape, such as a relatively small brain size in comparison to Homo. I told you that Australopithecus had smaller brain compared to Homo. Large back teeth and limited dexterity of the hands means they were not skilled to use their hand, as was Homo. Upright walking was also restricted. They couldn't walk so upright when compared to Homo, as they still spend a lot of time on trees. So they used to walk on the four limbs till now. Okay. Hominoids were the first group of animals, a primate of a family, Hominidae, which includes humans and their fossil ancestors, and also in recent schemes, at least some of the great apes. So hominoids is older than hominids and Homo and Australopithecus. That is like an older version of hominids, and it is very similar to the apes, fossil ancestors and all that, and it belongs to this particular family known as Hominidae. Australopithecus and Homo also belongs to the family Hominidae, but this is the first form. Then from here comes hominids and Australopithecus and Homo. I hope this point is very clear to you.